Hello guys, I have another Shiftaholics video for you. It's a vehicle review. It's for a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. It's actually one of my personal vehicles. I've owned it for about a little over 3 years, I guess, 3 or 4 years. Basically we'll go through the vehicle and what it is how it is like to own the vehicle. Not just, basic vehicle review. We're gonna go into the pluses and minuses of Jeep Grand Cherokee ownership. So if you are looking to buy a Grand Cherokee, you have some more information as to how it is to own, how it is to live with, So without further ado, let's check out the video. So we're here with my 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. As you can see, I've kept it in fairly decent condition. It only has about 29k on it. With all the cars, it's kind of hard to drive them all a lot, but this gets used more as a family car and stuff. It has the 3.6 Pentastar V6. Quite honestly, I like the inline 6 they had before better. It was a little more torquier, although this is much smoother. It's based on the ML chassis. It's very solid. Overall build quality is not bad for an American car, actually. That's one of the reasons I bought it. It's like I said, it's the base model, so it has the smaller wheels. These are the 17s. I think you can get the 20s on the limited. I'm not sure if they're 19s or 20s, but the base one comes with these 17s. They look much smaller because the tire is so big, but they do the job. It does very well. It doesn't have that fancy limited slip that you would get on the nicer models, obviously, but it's not a bad car. The reason why I like it, and it's the same reason that I like a lot of my other cars, is it's good value per dollar. Although I'm not completely happy with it, and I'll follow up with that later in the video, all the things that I like and don't like about the car. I mean, I've owned it for a long time, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know what's good, what's bad about it. So let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about this Jeep. What I think about it, well, I have mixed feelings. It's like I said, everything that I buy has to have that value equation. It has to make sense financially. So as far as this car, it did make sense at the time, because at the time it was new, and this is not the facelifted model. This has the I believe the facelift came in 2014 when they upgraded the grills and the rear lights, and it looks a little it looks a little sharper, at least I think. It's since this is a 2012, it's the same body style, same look as the 2011 Grand Cherokee, and it's a car that I really fell in love with in the commercials and then the looks, and they had these, it felt European, and I really like the European car feel. And because at the time Mercedes owned Chrysler, so they used a lot of Mercedes components to build this car. One of the biggest things that they used, it's based on the ML platform, ML chassis. Now it's not, I'm not going to say this is a Mercedes. It's far from being a Mercedes. But overall, I think Mercedes has had a very good influence on Chrysler. They improved the quality. They improved overall look and feel and build quality of the vehicle. It's if you told me a few years ago, even maybe 5 years ago, that I would actually buy a Chrysler product, I wouldn't believe you. I'm not a Chrysler, or I'm not even an American car fan, but when I drove it, and for the price, I really liked it, and I figured, what the hell, if for that price, I can't really, I bought it brand new, so I took a risk, but it was under warranty. I think it's still under warranty. I'm not sure. I have not that many miles on it, but that's not the point. Basically, I was persuaded by the aesthetics, put it this way. Aesthetics, and the fact that it did, before this, we had, and primarily my wife drives this car, before this we had a 2010 Murano, and the build quality was rubbish. It was, all the metal paneling was so flimsy, I couldn't live with it. Every time you would close the gas cap, you would it would bend. So I really like that this didn't have that flimsy feel to it, and it's been a pretty decent car, in parts, I should say. It decent with a grain of salt. So let's start it up, put on the seatbelt, and I'm not gonna forget the windows. Let's get a little AC going. Okay, so let me adjust the camera here. Okay, so let's set out. And if you're thinking of buying this car, there's a few things you need to know. There's a few important things that you need to know. One of the first problems I reported to the dealer was a transmission problem, and it was horrendous. I mean, it still is actually. Basically, at low speeds, the transmission has it's dim-witted. It doesn't know what gear to go into, and I thought maybe something's wrong with the valve body or something. Something's seriously wrong with the transmission. And the guy was so casual about it. He's like, "That's how they are. You just have to learn to live with it." And it still bugs the crap out of me, especially in traffic. This thing is horrible. The tranny. Especially if you're crawling along, it'll start shifting for no reason. It's just, and I've taken it to the dealer many times over this issue, and they basically don't want to hear it anymore. So that's the biggest problem. I think I think it's not the biggest problem. It's one of the big problems. So another negative. A lot of recalls. I mean, they've had so many recalls, and major recalls. I had my head replaced. I think I don't know which side, I don't recall, but when it hit about 7,000 K, the check engine came on, and I take care of all my cars. I'm a fanatic, so I figured, hey, let me take it to the dealer. It's a brand new car, so I figured, something little. And they're like, "Oh no, we gotta keep it for a week." And I was like, "Keep it for a week? Keep it for a week for what? What are you gonna do with it?" And they're like, "Oh, we gotta just take the motor apart." Like, what do you mean take the motor apart? Basically, long story short, the head has warped. Apparently there's some defect or whatever when the car heats up too quickly with the original head. They've recalled and replaced a lot of these, but this is the biggest thing that I've ever had. And I've bought new cars before, and I've never had this type of big problem where the motor, after 7,000 miles, the motor had to be taken apart. Basically, that's just pretty extreme. And it's been one recall after another, and it's not like recalls that you don't notice. Like I got check engine light over the fuel relay or some, I don't know. I don't even remember anymore. There's been so many recalls. Now, just to be clear, this car is, at least at the time, I'm not sure if it's still under warranty. I didn't pay a penny to have all the stuff fixed. But still, it's annoying calling the dealership, and one of the things is they send you the notification saying that, hey, you have this recall, and then when you go there, they're like, hey, we don't have any parts. Come back, call us, periodically till we tell you when we have the parts. I mean, it's asinine. I mean, it just gets on your nerves. I mean, brand new cars shouldn't have these types of problems. So that's one of the biggest annoyances. Second is the steering. Now, this is a little tricky. It's it's light. It's light, but I'm not gonna say it's not responsive. It's pretty responsive. I think in some ways it's better than my Forester steering, but this one, it's a little deceptive. It's vague, and coupled with the suspension, it's very soft. it's kind of refined for an American car. I mean, this is a refined suspension. I mean, again, you have to keep in mind that they built it along with Mercedes. So, you know, it's you know, very refined. But the thing is, it's deceptive in the way that it can go wrong on you very quickly. And let me explain. So, it doesn't give you enough feedback to tell you to back off it. Like, there's some cars that you will know it's kicking back and telling you, hey, this is as far as you can push me. This car is you don't know till it's too late, kind of thing. I mean, I mean, realistically speaking, no one's as crazy as me. There's not too many people as crazy as me that's going to take a Jeep Grand Cherokee and do a 90 degrees turn at 40 miles an hour. But I have done stupid stuff like that just to see what happens, you know, just out of my own curiosity. Yeah, you know, it's almost like it's going to roll over, and I think some of these in testing have rolled over. And you don't really feel it. That's the whole thing. It doesn't tell you something's wrong till till you can't gain it back. So that's another thing. The steering it's not the fact that it's vague. It is a little vague. I mean, you know, it's not the fact that you know, the steering radius is pretty decent. It's the fact that coupled with this type of soft and nice suspension, it's not soft. No, I shouldn't say it's not. It's adequate. It's adequate and nice, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't let you know that, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this. You know, you're telling me to turn now, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I had an XC90, and I drove it fairly hard, and it responded well. You know, it responded. It's not, you know, it's not a sports car. It's obviously an SUV, but it did do its job. This car, you know, it's not something major, not something that most people would worry about, but in a critical situation where you have to swerve like a maniac, this thing will most likely let you down. So, one thing to keep in mind. Now, the plus part is, you know, the suspension is great. I think it's very well composed. The chassis, I don't feel any flex in this thing. It's awesome. I mean, you know, it's, again, for the price, it's a very big plus. So we went through the negatives. There's three major negatives that I can think of. One is the tranny. I mean, it's something that I can complain about all day, every day. Second is the recalls, the number of things that went wrong with this car, considering that, you know, yeah, I've pushed it a couple of times, but, you know, I've done all the service. Usually my wife drives it. She drives it like 15 miles an hour, so it's not an abused car. It's not, you know, so, yeah, so, you know, the recalls and all the things that went wrong with it, and the steering, you know, and, you know, I shouldn't say just steering coupled with the suspension. It just doesn't give you enough feedback to let you know you're doing something stupid, or, you know, it does in a, you know, extreme situation. I wouldn't want to be in this car, you know. Not to say it's dangerous. I mean, it stops great, turns great, you know, but once you push it beyond the point, you know, I don't think you could gain it back so easily. I mean, unless you're like a professional driver or something like that. So, yeah, that's my major complaints. As far as the positives, there are many positives. I mean, it's cheap and it rides awesome. It's you know, it's you know. The 3.6 liter Pentastar is not bad. I mean, I like the inline more, but it's smooth. It's not as torquey, but, you know, overall I may give it a plus. Where the tranny I'm not happy with, I can't say the same thing about the motor. The motor has been, yeah, I'm not talking about technically. Technically, it's been horrible. They replaced and serviced a lot of crap on it, but overall, performance-wise and stuff like that, it's been pretty decent. No complaints. So, other positives, I mean, I can't stress the price. This thing came under 30 grand, and I have power seats, I have power windows, I have AC now blasting. I mean, I couldn't buy a Highlander for that price. I mean, so the price is great, and I mean, the steering wheel is covered in leather. It feels pretty premium. It has steering wheel controls that are pretty nice. I mean, it is a nice car. I mean, for that type of money, I think that's the biggest selling point, and it is a good-looking car. I think the Grand Cherokee lineup looks awesome. Where the Cherokee looks like a horse's ass, the Grand Cherokee looks awesome. It looks like a European car. It looks like something that you could drive and and not be embarrassed that you're driving something that looks like a horse's ass, which is the Cherokee. I don't know why it's a disgrace that they even call that a Cherokee. And I'm not a Mopar guy. I'm not a Chrysler guy. I don't care about American cars so much. I just bought it because it was cheap, it looked cool, and I figured, partnership with Mercedes, another plus. The chassis would be nice too. So overall, ooh, look at that. That's a BMW 2002. I wish I could show you. You don't see those too often. But anyhow, overall, nice car for the money. There's, if you want to go really, really anal, I could tell you like a million different other faults, but they're more based on my preferences. They're not going to be. Some people will not consider them faults. So the big things, something that everyone can agree with: transmission crap, recalls headache. I mean the big bad things, and steering vague and deceptive. So those are the bad things. The good things: value per dollar, amazing. I mean, amazing. It is. As much as I complain over all the little things, when I remember it was only like 30 grand, I'm like, you know what, my E90 costs more than that, and that's not even, this is twice the size, and it's not bad. It's not bad. So just to summarize, I think overall, it's not a perfect car. It's not a perfect SUV. I don't think it's a perfect family car, and quite honestly, I won't buy it again. I won't buy it again, not just because of all the negatives I mentioned. That's just a little part. The reason why is because one of the things I failed to mention earlier is because I bought it as a family car, and I think there were some other models, other makes and models that make better family SUVs type of cars. So yeah, my next family car will probably be something else. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really been looking, but overall, am I happy with the purchase? Am I happy with the car? Yes. Does it have faults? Yes. Is it great value per money? Is it good value per money? I think yes, definite yes. Would I recommend it? That's a maybe. That's definitely a maybe, because it depends what you want. You want if value means a lot to you, like it does to me, I would recommend it. If if you're more specific, if you want something, more something that you wouldn't have to take to the dealership so often, I would probably say no, I don't recommend it. So mixed feelings. I'm not gonna badger it, because it does the job, and it does the job fairly well. I mean, I've owned it almost 4 years, and I have about 29,000 on it. So it's not like I've been driving it all day, or I don't drive it often at all. But if you are thinking about this car, consider everything that I told you, and then make a decision. I can't tell you buy it, don't buy it. I mean, if it was complete piece of crap, then I'd be more blunt about it. But the problems. I've mentioned the problems, and it's not just something that I have had an issue with. It's something that you can read on forums and all kinds of places where people complain about it. So if you're serious about this car, make a decision based on those pluses and minuses, and I'm sure whatever decision you make is going to be an informed one. So this is going to be it for our review.